And we are live. I know everybody says that when a live stream starts, but I don't have the, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have the mental capacity to come up with anything new for that. So I'm stuck with we are live. So anyway, today's live stream here on All Hat No Cattle, AHNC for short. Oh, I haven't introduced myself, by the way. I'm Hat, in case you're new to the channel. Thank you for coming. And welcome to all the regulars. It's great to have everybody here. So on All Hat No Cattle today, we're going to be looking at nutritional psychology and the Institute of Nutritional Psychology. And what do they have to give to us? What are they here for? I have a feeling by the end of this, we're going to know exactly what they're here for. And if you're surprised that it's dollar signs, you're not paying attention. So let's get into it here. Nutritional psychology. Nutritional Psychology, Is Your Mind Ruining Your Food? By Marc David. We'll find out who Marc David is later on here. Let's just start with what he has to say. Eating Psychology, The Metabolic Power of Thought. And he starts off with a great quote, Thoughts Rule the World by Emerson. That's as close as he's going to come to actual intellectual research, folks. One of the most fundamental building blocks of nutritional metabolism is neither vitamin, mineral, nor molecule. Oh, I thought science had a lot to do with our bodies. Obviously not. It's our psychological relationship with food. It's the sum total of our innermost thoughts and feelings about what we eat. Yes. The great Sufi poet Rumi once remarked, "The satiated man and the hungry man do not see the same thing when they look upon a loaf of bread." And Chicago local hero Al Capone, noted gangster, astutely observed, "When I sell liquor, it's called bootlegging. When my patrons serve it on silver trays on Lakeshore Drive, it's called hospitality." Thank you, Al. Indeed, how each of us thinks about eating, known as eating psychology or food psychology, is so profoundly relative that if a group of us were looking at the same plate of food, no two people would see the same thing. No two people. So we're all snowflakes with our own innermost relationship with food, and you would not see a steak the same way I see a steak. Not according to Marc David. We both have innermost thoughts that totally rule our feelings, our desires, our outlook on what that steak means to us. It gets deeper. By the way, if you're new, that's Green Forest, or Green Mountain, excuse me, Dark Magic coffee. It's really incredible stuff. Say, for example, we were examining a plate of pasta, chicken, and salad. A woman wanting to lose weight would see calories and fat. I don't think a woman wanting to lose weight would have a plate of chicken fettuccine in front of her to begin with. But she does have the salad, good for her. She'd respond favorably to the salad or chicken, but would view the pasta with fear. An athlete trying to gain muscle mass would look at the same meal and see protein. We're not being gender biased here, she'd respond favorably to the salad or chicken, but would view the pasta with fear. I'm sorry, I just read that. Excuse me. Athlete, see protein. She'd focus on the chicken and look past the other foods. Well, athletes like carbs too, especially before a workout. So you missed it right there, Mark. A pure vegetarian would see the distasteful sight of a dead animal and wouldn't touch anything on the plate. Again, why would they have it in front of them to begin with? A chicken farmer, on the other hand, would be proud to see a good piece of meat. It must be horrible to be any kind of a meat producer in the world. You can't sit down and eat food without thinking, wow, I know exactly how this came to the market, to my plate, and I'm happy that it's a good cut of meat. I'm not caring about how well it's cooked, how it's going to taste, how it's going to complement the wine that I just brought. Nope. It's a good piece of meat. Good for the farmer who brought this out. You see how very much blindered this kind of thinking is. It's intersectional. Right off the bat, there's that word. It's intersectional, And no, everyone has their own specific outlook on things because of their own experiences in life. You can't have an equal opportunity in seeing your food. I'm surprised too, because normally these kind of things are looking for equality of outcome, but you're going to see in a little bit that that's not the case either. Someone trying to heal a disease through diet would see either potential medicine or potential poison, depending on whether or not the plate of food is permissible on her chosen diet. Poison. Scientists see food as poison. A scientist studying nutrient content in food would see a collection of chemicals. All of these are reflections of our perceptions, our unique nutritional and food psychology. Here's where it really gets good. Let me roll this up. What's amazing is that each of these eaters will metabolize the same meal quite differently in response to her unique psychology and thoughts. In other words, what you think and feel about food is as important a determinant of its nutritional value and its effects on body weight as the actual nutrients themselves. It's about feelings, folks. Does this sound unbelievable? Here's how the science works. Now he's going to teach us about science. Someone who can't see that people have similarities in how they look at food, he's going to get into science. Food psychology, how your brain eats. The information highway of brain, spinal cord, and nerves is like a telephone system through which your mind communicates with your digestive organs. Let's say you're about to eat an ice cream cone. Yum. The notion and image of that ice cream occurs in the higher center of the brain, the cerebral cortex. From there, information is relayed electrochemically to the limbic system, which is considered the lower portion of the brain. Well, it's close to the lizard brain, so I'll give him that. The limbic system regulates emotions and key physiological functions such as hunger, thirst, temperature, sex drive, heart rate, and blood pressure. Within the limbic system is a pea-sized collection of tissues known as the hypothalamus, which integrates the activities of the mind with the biology of the body and plays a big role in eating psychology. Eating psychology. In other words, it takes sensory, emotional, and thought input and transduces this information into physiological responses. This is nothing short of a miracle, and it's also wrong. The hypothalamus has nothing to do with your emotions. Let's take a look here. Functions of the hypothalamus. This is medical news today. The body's normal, balanced state of being is known as homeostasis. The body is always trying to achieve this balance. The main job of the hypothalamus is to keep the body in this state as much as possible. Now, how does the hypothalamus do that? Does it take into account your emotional well-being at that time? Well, there are stress hormones that can affect certain things like blood pressure and inflammation of blood vessels, but that's not what we're talking about here. Marc David is talking about how you feel about your food affecting the hypothalamus. Back to this. To do this, the hypothalamus acts as the connector between the endocrine and nervous systems. It plays a part in many essential functions of the body, such as, and we'll just go down the list to the part right here, appetite and weight control. Okay, fine. Marc was partially right. The hypothalamus does have a function involving appetite and weight control, but it says nothing about emotions playing a part in that. It's the nervous system that teaches you. So if your body is telling you, if your stomach is saying, I'm empty, that empty signal goes up to the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus says, I'm going to secrete a hormone that will tell the body it's hungry and it needs to eat. And the mind picks up on that, and the mind says, hey, I got to eat. You eat. That's not an emotion. That's a physiological response to a nervous signal from a part of the body to the hypothalamus to the brain. And when you're full, when you're sated, hypothalamus kicks in again and says, hey, we're done eating. Levels off the appetite. Weight control, same thing. Metabolism comes into play with the hypothalamus. If you're not eating enough, if you're eating too many fats, the body is going to slow down. The metabolism is going to slow down. Not a lot. That video I did with, what's her name? Riley Jade Dennis, about metabolism. Your metabolism does not vary greatly. It will vary, but not to the extent that she said. So anyway, let's get back to Marc David. Yes, I wanted to do this. The link here, within the hypothalamus, P-size, integrates the activities of the mind body with the biology of the body. Okay, we have a link to something that is obviously going to talk to us more about how the hypothalamus integrates the activities of the mind with the biology of the body, right? So here is the link. Healing with the power of meditation. How to heal your body with your mind. Okay, mind, body, yeah, but hypothalamus? Let's do a search in here. See if we can find hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Basically, a blind link. All right. Thank you very much, Marc David. Moving on. To fully understand to fully appreciate the power of your nutritional eating psychology and mind over metabolism, let's take a fresh look at one of the most compelling phenomena in science, the placebo effect. Here's my favorite example. Now he goes on with something about cancer patients on placebo, some losing their hair and some not, which is the exact same process as what happened with the patients on actual chemotherapy. So yes, there is quite a bit of placebo effect involved in the machinations of your body. It's been proven in serious research. He quotes some figures here that I'm just going to give him straight out. But so it comes down to this, however. So if the power of the mind and our psychology is strong enough to make our hair fall out when taking a placebo, what do you think happens when we think to ourselves, this cake is fattening. I really shouldn't be eating it. Or, I'm going to eat this fried chicken, but I know it's bad for me. Or, I enjoy eating my salad because it's really healthy. Feels. Certainly, I'm not saying we can eat poison without any harm. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. If we believe it's good for us, I'm suggesting that our food psychology and what we believe about any substance we consume can powerfully influence how it affects the body. Now, I didn't go to this link the first time. Let's take a look and see where it takes us. Shilajit, the ancient yogic superfood that rebuilds your body. Nothing to do with what we were just talking about. Consider some of the foods you've been given strong associations to. And we're going to deal with one of these right now, but just salt will raise my blood pressure. Fat will make me fatter. Sugar will rot my teeth. I can't make it through the day without my cup of coffee. This meat will raise my cholesterol level. This calcium will build my bones. To a certain degree, some of these statements may be true. How many weasel words did he fit into that sentence? Certain, some, and may. 3 weasel words about facts regarding food and the relationship to the body. Amazing. So let's look at this one right here. Salt will raise my blood pressure. Going to the heart.org, the American Heart Association. How does sodium affect my heart health? When there's extra sodium in your bloodstream, it pulls water into your blood vessels, increasing the total volume of blood inside your blood vessels. With more blood flowing through your blood vessels, blood pressure increases. That's science. That's fact. It's called, osmosis. when you're bringing in a substance through a membrane into another. Um, and that is osmotic pressure. When there is more sodium on one side of the membrane than there is on the other, that pressure forces the sodium through the membrane into the other substance, in this case, the blood. Having less sodium in your diet may help you lower or avoid high blood pressure. People with high blood pressure are more likely to develop heart disease or have a stroke. There you go, pure science. But according to Marc David, that may be true. That may have some truth. It may have some certain amount of truth. Now, I'll tell you a story. My wife salts her food every time. And one time I said, you need to stop salting your food so much. It's going to give you high blood pressure. So she actually said, you know what, you're right. And she stopped salting her food. She went in for a checkup a few months later, and the doctor said, you're hyponatremic, which means you don't have enough sodium in your bloodstream. That can affect your nerve pathways. Sodium is used to signal muscles to contract. It's used in your heart then, for instance, or any skeletal muscles. And she didn't have enough in her body. She was salting her food properly for her body system. And I told her not to. I was wrong. I like to pretend I'm a doctor, as you all have noticed over time, but there you go. So now I have a brother-in-law who has high blood pressure, and he really has to watch his sodium. So it goes both ways. Me, I sometimes salt my food, sometimes not, and my sodium levels are just fine. So there's 3 examples of how it can work. Oops, got too far. So let's talk about the placebo effect. And again, another link. Where does this go? An actual paper about the placebo effect. 1 out of 3. Let's give it to Marc for that. Now here's another link that I pulled up. It's a study from a gentleman called Ted Kapchuk, who did a study regarding a drug that would treat carpal tunnel and tendonitis, chronic pain in the elbow, shoulder, and wrist. Now he got some serious placebo effect from this. He had the pill, and then he had acupuncture as the placebo. And something like a third of the people receiving the acupuncture reported a decrease in pain levels, while a third of the people receiving acupuncture reported increased pain. Some of them couldn't even get out of bed. Okay, so acupuncture is better for pain relief in this instance than the drug. No. The pill was cornstarch. The acupuncture was not actual needles. It looked like a needle, but when you pressed the needle against the skin, the needle retracted into the shaft. So there was actually no penetration whatsoever. You felt like you were getting stuck with a needle. So it was a complete placebo study. So that can show how much of an effect placebo has on the workings of the body. It is a real thing. That's not where I want to be. No. Let's go back. Here we go. This is after the placebo part. He's talking about self-hypnosis. Another thought occurred to me. I have an idea I'd like to run by you, I said. It seems to me the more centered I am within myself, the closer I am to my own source of well-being, and the closer I am to the power of healing. It's like there's a continuum of connection that underlies my life, and as I maintain my focus on staying connected to the power source, I feel happier and more fulfilled, and my body naturally stays healthier and free of addiction and disease. That's a lot of assumptions there. I'm coming to believe that sickness isn't unpredictable or random. It's just an indicator or symptom of how far I've wandered from my point of strongest connection. So the more connected I become, the more disease and addiction naturally fade from my body. And the more disconnected I am, the more sickness I experience. What do you think about that? He asked. Well, I'll tell you what I think about that. I think it's a bunch of crap. So let's look at something that he links to regarding the ability to stay healthier through your thinking. And that's called epigenetics. In the science of epigenetics, it's been found that it's the perception of your environment that controls your genes. You're not a victim of your genes because you're the one who can change your environment. Now, this is published by someone who has a program where you do what's called 3x3 healing meditations. You do three-minute meditations a day, focusing on your strong point, your health point, and that will actually heal any genetic abnormalities you have. So, what do we know about epigenetics? It's crap. Due to the early stages of epigenetics as a science and the sensationalism surrounding it in the public media, author David Gorski and geneticist Adam Rutherford advise caution against proliferation of false and pseudoscientific conclusions by New Age authors who make unfounded suggestions that a person's genes and health can be manipulated by mind control. Now, I'm not familiar with Adam Rutherford. I will assume that his qualifications are genuine. David Gorski, however, I have been reading for years. He is a brilliant, brilliant essayist, and he knows his science. If you do a Google on him, a internet search, I'm trying to get away from that. If you do an internet search on him, you will find he has two blogs, one under his real name and one under a pseudonym. And they're amazing. If you're into science and health, especially health scams at all, you need to read David Gorski. That's all I can say. So yes, epigenetics is crap. All right. So now we're going to talk about the thyroid gland. Many people know that a well-functioning thyroid is a key requirement for a healthy metabolism. Okay, where does that link lead us? To thyroid? No. 7 sacred herbs and foods for boosting your sex drive and optimizing your hormonal balance. Maybe thyroid is in here and I just missed it. Let's take a look. Thyroid. 0 hits. Let's look up the metabolic reactor from the thyroid, thyroxine. No hits. Go figure. So we don't even need to bother with the rest of that. We looked over that. We looked over placebo effect. All right, I got a little confused here. Let me just find what I want. I apologize for screwing that up. I thought I had everything in order. I went to go to placebo. There we go. Placebo on a plate. Kill that. To fully appreciate the power of nutritional eating psychology and mind over metabolism, let's... Oh, Jesus, I already read that. I do beg your pardon. Oh, I know. I am so sorry, folks. There we go. Good food, bad food myth. There's one particular nutritional thought I'd like to alert you to that lingers in the minds of many, and it is the most metabolically damaging and is best removed from our mental diet. The outdated thought is this: some foods are good, some foods are bad. I will actually go along with that, up to a point. My diet consists of a fairly wide variety of things. I'll try to eat food that is low in fat, but I won't exclude fat. I'll try to cut down on my carbohydrates, but I won't exclude carbohydrates. If I have a good meal 3 times a day and my caloric count for the day is still a little off, I'll have a small glass of milk and a cookie. I'll do that. And I'm losing weight. And I'm not even exercising right now. Once I start exercising, I'll be able to lose this last 10 or 15 pounds that I want to get rid of. But I'll brag. I'm below 190 right now for the first time since the 90s. And I have not been exercising. So just, watching what you eat can help. Am I the perfect example? No. Am I the typical example? No. But it's working for me. And that doesn't mean then that it couldn't work for you if you want to shed some pounds. Just watching what you eat is very, very important. And keeping on. Yes, it's clear that certain foods will enhance your health while others will detract from it. When I say to you there's no such thing as a good food or a bad food, I'm pointing out that no food is morally good or bad. I'm talking about in a diet sense, in a nutritional sense. He's talking about morally. Again, it's feelings. It's not science, it's feelings. In other words, no one can say they've uncovered an evil conspiracy between bacon and eggs to raise our cholesterol. Well, yeah, they do. Nor has anyone come forward claiming to have seen heavenly angels flying above their salad. What? Food is morally neutral. So is every other object in the universe. Is a baseball bat good or bad? It depends on how you use it. It can be used to hit a home run and thus make thousands of fans deliriously happy, or it can be used as a tool of destruction to smash someone's car window and ruin her day. Not their day, not his day, her day. Yeah, I'm going to add to that because he has a point. He has an excellent point. Things are tools. Food can be used to fuel your body. That's what food does. It fuels your body. What about a gun? A gun is a tool. You can use a gun for target practice against paper or steel, or you can use it to shoot someone. Good or bad, it's a tool. Guns are not designed purely to kill. They're designed to shoot a bullet downrange. What you do with that bullet is up to you. I have shot tens of thousands of rounds since I began my shooting career. I've never shot one person. It's a tool. Just like a baseball bat, just like bacon and eggs, just like a salad. They're tools. So let's go to, let's see here. We've covered epigenetics. We've covered that. Yes. In part of this essay, he bemoans the use of, he bemoans the lack of research in food and mental health, or health in general. I found numerous studies regarding that. And here's one right here, the link between food and mental health. In a new study of 120 children and adolescents consuming fast food, sugar, and soft drinks, this was associated with a higher prevalence of diagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Led by Maria, I can't pronounce that, of the University of Barcelona's Department of Nutrition, Food Science, and Gastronomy, the study also found that children who ate fewer vegetables, fruit, fatty fish, and other foods associated with the Mediterranean diet were more likely to have ADHD symptoms, even after accounting for potential confounders. While these associations don't prove causality, the authors note they suggest that diet could play a role in ADHD's development through as yet unknown mechanisms. There is science out there, but Marc needs to create his own narrative about he's doing the research. His science is what's important. So to hell with real scientists doing real work. Now let's go to one of my favorite parts. Let me find the word. You're going to love this. Yes, here it is. The placebo effect is not rare and unusual creature. Its appearance is quite commonplace. Yada, yada, yada. Simply put, The placebo force is how your metabolism responds to thoughts, feelings, and expectations. It's like phoning in a prescription to your own inner nutritional pharmacy. What we believe is, here we go. What we believe is alchemic, I could pronounce that during my rehearsal, is alchemically translated into the body through nerve pathways, the endocrine system, neuropeptide circulation, the immune network, and the digestive tract. This is the power of our food and nutrition related psychology. Okay, a lot of woo there. And if you're not familiar, woo is basically untrue science being pushed in order to make it sound like it's actually valid. So something like a vegetable diet curing cancer, that's woo. That's the most dangerous example of woo, but that is woo right there. Reiki therapy, curing disease, that's woo. So alchemically, what does alchemically mean? Now, I couldn't find that word specifically, but of course there is the root word alchemy. I'm sure some of you have heard it before. Alchemy. 1. A form of chemistry and speculative philosophy practiced in the Middle Ages and Renaissance, concerned principally with discovering methods for transmuting baser metals into gold and with finding a universal solvent and an elixir of life. Well, water is the universal solvent. We know that now. So that could have been a little off. But finding an elixir of life and transmuting baser metals into gold. That's alchemy as most of us know it. 2. Any magical power or process of transmuting a common substance, usually of little value, into a substance of great value. And 3. A seemingly magical process of transforming or combining elements into something new. So we can go with the third definition here for what Marc is saying. And that's ridiculous. Your body does not work through alchemy. To use that word in a paper, or yes, an article, if you will, that is supposed to be discussing, the real science between your mental health, how you look at food and how you react to food, that word has no place. It just goes to show how really out of touch with real science this thing is. Now, this is part of the last part I'll be talking about with this. Let me see. There's a couple more parts. But this is probably my favorite part of this. Motivation, exercise, and metabolism. Early on in my nutritionist practice, a 48-year-old female lawyer named Tony was referred to me by a local physician in New York City. Well, right there, I'm not believing it. Any physician worth his salt would not be referring anyone to a guy like Marc David. And we'll get into who he is at the end. He warned me that she was a difficult patient who was trying to lose weight but couldn't. The doctor did numerous tests but found nothing wrong with Tony. He had suggested various diets and she hadn't lost a single pound. The highlight of this case was that Tony was a marathon runner. She ate a paltry 1,300 calories per day. She ran 8 to 10 miles a day during the work week and about 15 miles on Saturday, and she was a legitimate candidate for losing 15 pounds. I will again refer you to my Riley Dennis video, where we saw how someone who did not reduce their caloric intake beyond their normal I think it was 2,000 calories a day for a man. They did not reduce it beyond that. They ran, I think, 1.5 miles a day, 3 days a week, and they lost an average of 1.5 pounds a week. How it is possible for someone eating only 1,300 calories a day, which is, as I remember, below the daily intake requirement for a woman. Remember, if you don't take enough calories in during the day, you damage your body. And even if she is hitting the right amount, still, 1,300 calories a day, 8 to 10 miles a day, and 15 on the weekend, and she's not losing weight. Does anyone buy that? at all? Because I certainly don't. So let's skip here. I was quite confident I could help. Tony's diet was clearly deficient in protein, fat, and calories, which was putting her in a survival response and slowing down her metabolism. Well, what was she eating if she was deficient in protein and fat? That would leave carbs. Someone trying to lose weight is eating nothing but carbs all day. Well, if you're looking for fast acting energy to help you with your run, that'll help. But anyone who has been seeing a doctor and was not eating enough protein and fat, either they're an idiot or the doctor is an idiot or a combination of the two. Why you would need someone like Marc David to help explain that to you is beyond me. She ate fast, received no pleasure from food, and seldom had a nourishing meal. Again, who is she working with that she doesn't know how to do that? We had lots to work on in regards to her eating and nutritional psychology. I told Tony it would take 8 sessions over a 2-month period to begin to shift her weight. I explained that she had to eat more food, including more fat and protein, and she needed to learn to relax and receive pleasure from food. Pleasure from food. Now, I enjoy a good steak. I enjoy a good pizza. Hell, I enjoy a good beef stick. But I don't have to receive pleasure from that in order for it to give me the proper amount of nutritional support. It doesn't work that way. But according to Marc David, that's what she needed, along with a proper diet. Now let's combine these things together. If you put her on a proper diet and gave her psychological support about enjoying her food, how does that balance out in your mind? Which of those two would be the greater effect? The enjoying of the food or the fact that she's eating properly? I'm thinking it's like 0% enjoying her food and 100% eating right. But I'm a skeptic. That's just me. Tony looked at me as though I was insane and insisted that if she ate anything more than what she was eating right now, she would most certainly gain weight, a reflection of her misguided food psychology. I don't think that's misguided food psychology, Marc. I think that's someone who has no clue as to how to eat properly, like we just discussed. But you go with what you know. She admitted that she didn't believe me, but acknowledged that she was at the end of her rope and would try anything. If you're going to see Marc David, you are at the end of your rope, so I'll go along with that. And she made me promise that she wouldn't gain a pound on her new regime. Any doctor who guarantees results, and Marc David is not a doctor, does not practice according to any kind of Hippocratic oath or any oath in general. You do not guarantee results. Anyone knows that. I'm really dry today. Wow. Without my asking, she wrote a check for all 8 sessions and walked out of the office more agitated than when she walked in. Well, good for you. You really did your job. At the end of 2 weeks, Tony weighed 6 pounds more and threatened to sue me. I would too. You guaranteed results. Her worst nightmare had come true. I was devastated. Her lawyer was sending me intimidating letters. I quickly returned Tony's money, apologized every way possible, and the whole affair blew over. But I never forgot her and remained mystified about her case. Fast forward to 7 years later. A woman comes into my office who could be the sister of this marathon runner that I'd never forgotten. Sheila was another high-achieving woman, a stockbroker in her late 40s, short, plump, healthy, a low-calorie and high-mileage marathoner who couldn't lose a pound. I would have instantly referred her to someone else, but a number of her close friends who had come to see me had all shared their wonderful success stories, so Sheila was eager to work with me. I couldn't send her away, nor could I think of any strategies other than the unsuccessful one I tried 7 years ago. It seemed as though the universe was entertaining itself by having a good laugh at my expense. Well, what kind of clients had you had between then? It seems to me this would be a fairly, except for the excessive running, a fairly common thing, where you have people coming in who are telling you they're working out all the time, they're not eating a lot, and they're not losing weight. I've seen that in the videos that I've done so far on fat acceptance. It's a common theme. Um, and you're telling me in 7 years you saw none of that again, and that all of your strategies that you used with Sheila um, had never come up again. This is not a true story, in my opinion. I gave Sheila the same advice I had given Tony: eat more food, especially more fat. Oh, I got Sheila and Tony mixed up, excuse me. Tony was the original patient. I gave Sheila the same advice I had given Tony: eat more food, especially more fat and protein, and slow down when eating. Eating too fast is a problem. So that is normal advice. Any doctor would tell you that. In 2 weeks, Sheila gained 4 pounds. I felt like a criminal and was ready to surrender myself to the authorities. Surprisingly, though, she wasn't upset or deterred. She was so inspired and positive about her friends had been benefiting from working with me that she felt certain I could figure this out. This is where the aha moment came in. An exercise physiologist friend explained to me that intense exercise can closely mimic the stress response. Yes, aerobic exercise is great for us and has a long list of a long list of wonderful metabolic benefits. I read into that. I know this because I personally place a high value on working out. But in the wrong context, exercise can wear us down, elevating cortisol and insulin levels, generating inflammatory chemicals, and locking us into a survival metabolism, into which we vigorously store fat and arrest the building of muscle. He'd been doing this. Let's just say Tony came in after his first week running this nutritional psychology office. It took him 7 years to find out that intense exercise without a proper resting period in between exercise can be harmful because your body doesn't have enough time to heal between those stresses. Because exercise does put stress on your body. But if you do it properly, if you do it with the right intervals, if you do it with the right amounts, it helps. You don't go to the gym and do your max deadlift every day. That's harmful. And how he didn't know that is amazing to me. Just amazing. According to conventional wisdom, weight is a function of calories in and calories out. No, that's according to science, Mark. So the more you exercise, the more weight you will supposedly lose. But in reality, the exercise story is never so black and white. Kevin Cooper, MD, the granddaddy of the fitness movement in America and a previous proponent of intense workouts, has done a complete about-face concerning vigorous aerobic exercise. His research findings at the Cooper Aerobic Center in Dallas, Texas, were so astounding that I think anyone who does high-intensity workouts should take note. Basically, Kenneth Cooper discovered that low to moderate intensity exercise for only 30 minutes, 3 or 4 times per week, is the best prescription for health, weight maintenance, and fitness. Yes, that's true. So, in the original exercise with Tony, I missed that part, I will admit. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that she was running so often and running so much. She shouldn't have been. You want to build up towards marathons, and you don't run marathons so often as she was doing. It is bad for you not to rest between exercise. I had forgotten that. He should have known that. He's an expert. He's a professional, right? So for me to forget, not good, but I would say somewhat understandable. For him not to know it, I think is absolutely criminal. And he was getting threatening letters from a lawyer. So yeah, it seems to me he was kind of missing the boat there. You're holding yourself out as a professional. You should be able to perform as a professional. On our next visit, I asked Sheila why she ran marathons. She said she needed to do something for fitness and she liked running. Very, very reasonable answer. I asked her if she really wanted to run so much or if there were other forms of fitness she would prefer. She was uncomfortable with my questioning and was taken aback when I suggested she secretly disliked running. What does that have to do with running too often? But the place we eventually arrived at in our conversation was a very honest one. Sheila was running out of punishment for having a body and for having a body with fat. She was running out of punishment for having a body. And for having a body with fat. All right, that part I can understand. But running as punishment, that is feelings again. She didn't exercise because she loved movement. So she's running. She likes running. She ran because she hated weight. Well, I'm eating less because I didn't want the weight that I used to have. I weighed 270 about a year and a half ago. 2 years ago, excuse me. And it turned out I had a hormonal imbalance that was fixed. And that helped me stop eating such crappy food. I'd been eating takeout every night. Wendy's, Popeyes, Burger King, Taco Bell, every night. Because my body felt sluggish. Because I didn't have enough of a particular hormone in my body to keep my metabolism up to speed. But by getting that hormone leveled, I was able to reduce my need for crappy food, trying to get a lot of calories and trying to increase my energy levels and see that I could eat healthier. And I began to do so, which is why in my videos I propose and am a proponent for getting help. If you're gaining weight, if your weight is not where you want it to be, and you need to fix it, and everyone should fix it, then you need to see a professional. See a therapist, see a doctor, whatever. Get treatment. In my case, I would have never lost any of that weight if I hadn't found out about my hormonal imbalance. And it took me 2 years to find out about that. So you have to stick with it. You're not going to hit a home run your first time in a doctor's office sometimes. You have to stick with it. Don't give up. These women went to someone who said they had to see them 8 times in order to help them fix their unhealthy relationship with food. And it didn't work because he gave them the wrong advice. Should they have stopped there? Well, he was their last resort, according to him. Again, that's what happens when you don't keep up, when you don't pay attention to what's going on around you. To my thinking, the intensely fearful thoughts that motivated her were causing a physiologic stress response and undermining her nutritional psychology. This fight or flight state was exponentially increased by a form of exercise that didn't suit her body, but in fact added even more stress chemistry. Running was not going to take her where she wanted to go, and her weight was the proof. So, exercise is bad. It wasn't that she was exercising too much and not resting in between. It was just that exercise was bad for her, even though she loved movement. She said she didn't hate running. She loved movement. That part about punishing her body, again, are these stories even true? I don't think so. So, Sheila turns around. In 3 months' time, Sheila lost the weight she'd gained in the first weeks of her new diet, in addition to losing 8 of the 10 pounds she was originally hoping to lose. She was satisfied with her body, relieved that she didn't need to run like a hamster on a wheel, and was truly enjoying her newfound physical activity. So let's see here. Weight. How much did she gain in the beginning? Let's see. She gained, I need to find that here, 4 pounds. In 2 weeks, Sheila had gained 4 pounds. Okay, so we're at 4. She'd wanted to lose 10, so we're up to 14 pounds. In 3 months' time, darn it, I do apologize. In 3 months' time, Sheila lost the weight she had gained, which was 4 pounds, plus losing 8 of the 10 pounds she was originally hoping to lose. So that's 12 pounds. 12 pounds in 3 months. 3 months is 12 weeks. I'm sorry. Yes, 12 weeks. And so she lost 10 pounds in 12 weeks. That's below average. She should have lost more like 15 or 18 pounds. But this guy's a genius. He can't even help her lose weight at a normal rate. But he is the best in the world. This is good. The moral of this story is not that exercise is bad. Well, I just think you told us it is. If you hate your exercise, it's bad. Even though you seem to be motivated enough to keep doing it, which is my feeling about exercise, that you have to be motivated. You have to want to do that exercise to keep you coming back. You should do it properly, which is why I have maintained that you should seek professional advice when you first start working out. Go over a coach with your goals, with your abilities, with your limitations, and they will help you find the right regimen that is good for you. If you go to the gym and just start pumping iron madly, or hitting the exerbicycle, trying to run 20 miles in your first day, you're going to screw up. You're going to hurt, and you're not going to want to go back. So get professional advice. And that's what they're there for. Therapists, doctors, trainers, they're all there to help you. Yes, it may cost a little more at the beginning, but is it not worth it to find something that is going to help you over the long run, as opposed to trying to do some quick fix thing like a fad diet or the exercise that your friend told you worked best for them? Again, it has to fit your temperament, so you'll keep coming back and doing it, not what your friend suggested, not what your friend's cousin suggested. Get professional help. We need to look at the motivating forces that drive us to exercise, which is often connected to our food psychology. No, it's not. It's directed towards your wanting to achieve a healthy body, a healthy lifestyle. It has nothing to do with food psychology. Healthy habits driven by fear are not so healthy after all. Anything driven by fear is not healthy. But how much of this is fear? Seriously. How much of this is just self-motivation? Deep, self-limiting thoughts can do nothing but suppress metabolism, even in the face of intense, calorie-burning workouts. Not if they're done properly. Self-limiting thoughts, that is complete woo. That has nothing to do with weight loss. That is ridiculous. Can you see any implications for your own exercise style? Right. Now we'll just go over his points here that you need to know. First, eating psychology exercise. Think nutritionally. 2, nutritional psychology exercise. Change your core beliefs. Let's look at this a little bit. Your next task is to identify and make a list of those core limiting Your next task is to identify and make a list of the core limiting beliefs you hold around food, body health, and sexuality. This is an even deeper dive into how we think. It's about discovering the negative mantras that we silently and unknowingly speak to ourselves. These hidden negative food psychology mantras are the software programs that direct brain and body to construct a metabolic world of lack and limitation. Identifying and correcting them is a huge step in empowering the chemistry of the body. I need to read that previous sentence again. These hidden negative food psychology mantras are the software programs that direct brain and body to construct a metabolic world and lack and limitation. Of lack and limitation. That thing is so horribly constructed, I can't even read it right the second time. I'm sorry, I can't parse it. I can't. It's just more woo. It's more feelings over science. And here's some of those limiting beliefs. There is something wrong with my metabolism, and I won't be happy until I fix it. I can't let out my real passion and sexiness. I wouldn't be safe. Well, if you don't have the right partner, that actually makes sense. But you need to talk about that. You need to be open and honest with your partner about what works for you and what doesn't. That's just simple communication right there. I'm destined, this is one of my favorites, I'm destined to have the same illness that my mother or father had. Why is father in brackets? That actually, I can see why that would happen. As it's setting it apart from mother, so I'll give him that. I'm a punctuation alt writer. You have to excuse me. Um, but if it was a genetic illness, then yeah, you are destined to have it. You can see a doctor and try to mitigate any physical deficiencies you have because of that genetic disease, say high blood pressure or heart disease. Those do run in families, um, and you do have to be careful. The stories of three generations dying at 52 of a heart attack in a row, those aren't just anecdotes. Those are real occurrences. That actually happens. Maybe not that same age, but that same type of profile. So to say that you're not destined to have the same illness just because you think about your food differently, good Lord. And another bit of woo here, inspiration, inventory, a new way to move, your journal, and key lessons to shift your eating and food psychology. And here's what we get to at the very beginning. What we think is electrochemically transduced into physiological responses. Prove it. Prove it. Where's the science on that? Okay, so we've talked enough about um, Marc David's essay here. Let's look at what he's really all about. And that is the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, the world's leading school in nutritional psychology. Folks, it's pretty much the only school in nutritional psychology. And that's because it's a load of crap. So, and let's look at some of the people. Are there graduates of this place who have done well? Have become a certified mind-body eating coach? Yeah, actually, they have had a few. If you look at this list on DuckDuckGo, I did a search for mind-body eating coach, and I got a number of hits. Cheryl Dawn, Susan Zilberman, um, Rachel LaJoy, Vicky Thondley. Yeah, there are a number of them out there. So they are getting people going through their program. Um, Here's one I didn't notice before. Food Psychology Coach Certification, the Spencer Institute. This program is no longer offered. Students are now enrolling in the Holistic Life Coach, Wellness Coach, and Nesta Lifestyle Fitness Coach certification instead. Okay, no wonder I missed it. They don't even have it anymore. Oh, brother. So let's look at some graduates of this um, professional training, becoming a mind-body eating coach. We've got Evelyn Parham, MS, Master in Master of Science. That's good. We'll get to her CV in a moment. But here she is, health coaching. Mind-body eating coaching, eating psychology coaching, is an exciting and cutting-edge approach developed by the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. It adequately addresses weight concerns, binge eating, overeating, body image challenges, and various nutrition-related health concerns. As a mind-body eating coach, my approach is positive and empowering. I do not see your eating challenges as a sign that something is wrong, but as a place for exploration. Something is wrong. I mean, even if we go by Marc David's example, that they have a bad relationship with food, the definition of wrong fits that. So something is wrong, or they're not coming to you. They're not coming to you saying, my life is great, but I need it to be better. They have a problem. And when you have a problem, something is wrong. But again, this is all feels. This is all woo. You don't have a problem. You just need fixing. As a mind-body eating coach, I look to support you with coaching. My God, I do apologize. As a mind-body eating coach, I look to support you with the coaching strategies and nutrition principles. So here's her training. I received my certification as an eating psychology coach from the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. I learned tools and protocols to work with the following concerns: weight, emotional eating, digestion, body image, fatigue, and more. My work combines the new fields of dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition. Could anything be more woo than that? I specialize in digestion, gut health, in which I help people improve their digestion, manage stress, and boost their energy. Okay, there are some words you should look for whenever you're thinking that you're involved in some kind of a woo science. Boost, support, enhance, say boosting your immune system, supporting your immune system. What do those things even mean? They don't. That's why they're allowed to use them in ads. Another one is toxins. Say like your liver is full of toxins, which therefore needs a cleansing. Anytime you hear toxins or cleansing, run out of the room. I can tell you that right now. And I learned that from David Gorski. Again, a great guy, someone you should look to. So, let's come down here. Disclaimer. I do not provide the services of a medical doctor, licensed dietitian, or nutritionist. Why did you spend 8 months and 250 hours of your life learning to be an eating psychology coach if you know nothing about diet or nutrition? Who would go to you? Information obtained should not be viewed as therapeutic or nursing advice and is not meant to replace you seeking a licensed health professional. So why am I going to you? What possible need would I have that you would fill if I'm having trouble losing weight? You're not a doctor. Okay, we knew that. You've got a master's in science, which is high compared to a lot of other people that I looked up in this program who graduated from this program. Very high. Licensed dietitian, why am I seeing you? Nutritionist, why am I seeing you? You have nothing to offer me except your mind doesn't play well with your food, and we need to fix that. But you're not broken. You don't need fixing, but we're going to fix it. So let's look at one other thing here about me. This is about Evelyn. Now this is very important. She has a eating psychology coach certification, of course. We knew that. Certified and trained by, Marc David. Healthy gut advisor. Trained by Karen Langston, nutritionist and gut health trainer. I can help you improve your digestion and gut health naturally. Gut health is a big woo thing right now. Probiotics, getting better balance of good flora in your body. Yes, good flora in your body versus bad flora. Guess what? Your body does that automatically. Unless you're under treatment for an infection or some other thing that the medication severely reduces the amount of good flora in your body, thus allowing the bad flora to increase, that you're fine. Some outside stimulus has to screw up that relationship significantly in order for you to feel ill. So if you're eating right and you're sleeping enough and you're getting a proper amount of exercise, you don't have to worry about your gut. Your gut's taking care of itself. But she's going to provide you guidance and insight to help you with that digestion and gut health. Well, guess again, or once again, digestion, you don't need help with digestion. Your body knows how to digest food quite nicely, but she's going to train you to digest food. How? By getting you to think good about that ice cream, about that steak, about that salad. Because if you think good about it, it's going to do good things for you. Now, here, as I said, this woman actually has some very high level training, a master's of science in biology. I do not know what Tennessee Tech is as far as level of school, but let's just give her the benefit and say it's above median. And then a Bachelor of Science, of course, with a minor in psychology from the University of Tennessee at Martin. Again, Tennessee at Martin, no idea where it's at. Let's just assume above median. So she has training. She knows what she's talking about. Yet it doesn't sound like she utilizes that in her work. It seems to me that she is more focused on the woo, because that is where she's at. Eating psychology coach and healthy gut advisor. Advisor. Not even technician. Advisor. Why would I go to you? So who else is there? I looked up one other person. Now, look at this website. One of the things that the Eating Institute, the Eating Psychology Institute, is supposed to teach you is marketing. This is a crap website. It's got too large of margins. Look at the contrast for the links through the pages. They're almost hidden. They're so dark against a dark background. They should be a lot lighter. And really, they should be across the top, because you're not looking to the side for stuff like this. You want to look in the body of the page itself. So this is pretty bad. No picture of the person, and it doesn't even have her name up here. You have to go to the body of the page to find out her name is Alexandria Marcus. So, not exactly top of the line. And what does Alexandria do for us? She uses your relationship with food as a direct path and metaphor around how you relate to your entire life. Learn the unique rhythm that helps your body thrive instead of layering on another external program that doesn't consider your individuality. Program. She's not talking about seeing someone else. She's talking about that meta program, that layering of your mind, your thoughts over your food, over your exercise. That's what she's talking about. I think we've determined how important that is. Learn specific tools for how to eat based on what, when, and how much your body needs through intuitive eating and self-care. Well, if my eating is intuitive, why do I need you? What more here? Move beyond treating symptoms and by getting to the root of healing your system. Okay. Well, symptoms are what you go by when you're having a problem. You try to fix the problem, not the symptoms, but I would rather see a doctor or a licensed therapist, nutritionist even, about that than you. And discover your natural weight, and even more importantly, the rapture of being fully alive. Means nothing. Discover a world of wisdom, ease, aliveness, and love. Aliveness? Is that like whiteness? Aliveness and love. Again, means absolutely nothing. But we do have a watermelon with love carved out of it, so it's got to mean she's serious. She even cut a YouTube video, which is basically just an 8.5 minute infomercial for the Psychology of Eating program. Doesn't even have her name in the title. And in the description here, again, her name is not included. It's at the very beginning. Let me find it here. Yeah, see, it only lasts for a very small part of the video. I can't even find it. It's such a very small. Excuse me, I kicked my speakers. It has a very small segment inside the video itself. This is all about the psychology of eating. So let's look at this. This video was published on July 20th, 2015. It has 502 views. Concluding mine, because I didn't archive it, it'll be 503 in 2.5 years. It has exactly 4 likes. And this has 12,000 subscribers. Obviously not really raking in the views, are we? I mean, I've got some really crap videos out there that have only broken 150. I mean, they weren't good videos at all. But my channel's only been around since August of 16. These people have years on me. It doesn't seem to me that even though we saw a lot of names on a very small DuckDuckGo search, that there are actually a lot of people who are really interested in this course. So what about Alexandria? What does she actually do? She owns her own business called Heart Food that includes a private practice in San Francisco. Of course, it's in San Francisco. That works directly coaching clients one-on-one, both in person, over Skype, and on the phone. Well, she's socially aware. She also leads popular Beyond Weight Loss classes around the Bay Area, where she offers a non-diet approach of diving into issues around weight, food, and body image in a safe, supportive community. So feels. So what's her CV here? What has she done? Well, she's walked this path and lived it every single day. She mentions in the video that she was a yo-yo dieter, that she's gained and lost hundreds of pounds. I'm not buying it because her face doesn't look like that at all. She has a very tight face. Well, not very tight face, but she has a tight face, as we can see right here. I do not believe that is the face of someone who has gained and lost hundreds of pounds. It's not even the chin. I mean, look at my chin. This is someone who's lost 90 pounds or 80 pounds. And look what happened to my chin. Because of all the fat that I built up under here, I now have a waddle. Unless she's had work, and it doesn't look like she's had work, there's nothing wrong with her. There was never anything wrong with her. But that's just me. That's my inner cattiness, I guess. Now, she's a student of Janine Roth and Lauren Matthews, a teacher within Janine Roth's work. And what are their claims to fame? Well, Janine Roth is a New York Times best-selling author, woman. I did it again. I do apologize. Women, Food, and God. And one of the first to connect compulsive eating and perpetual dieting with deeply personal and spiritual issues that go far beyond food, weight, and body image. I will give you spirituality in the sense that if you do not have balance in your life spiritually, you are seeking solace in the wrong places. Some people seek solace in food. So I will give you the concept of spirituality as helping you, but not as helping you with a relationship with your food necessarily, but helping you with a relationship with your own life in general. Once you have that balance, then you can see portions of your life that need work, fixing, and you can move on. It's shown that people with the spiritual side tend to live longer, better lives, healthier lives, excuse me. Better is not a determinate word. It's just that's woo right there. I apologize for using it. So, what else has she done? She's appeared on Oprah in 2010. Oh my goodness, 2010. What have you done since then, Alexandria? Not a whole lot. Now, how hard is it to appear on Oprah back in 2010? Pretty darn easy. Look at all the times Dr. Oz was on Oprah, and that guy's a complete quack. So I'm not putting any stock in Alexandria appearing on Oprah 8 years ago as being an indicator of her being worthwhile at all, as someone I should pay to help me with my mind, body, food image. She's a member of the Association of Professionals Treating Eating Disorders. Well, that sounds pretty legitimate. I'll just give her that outright. Center for Mindful Eating. No, not going to do that. Weston A. Price Foundation. I have no idea what that is. I'm not bothered in looking it up. So, what else is she doing? Board member, Women's Foundation of California. Well, I'm not surprised by that at all. Member, Economic Development and Justice Donor Circle. Well, this is a very good program. As you can see here, it promotes the economic independence and security of low-income women in California. It's been around since 1999, but look at this. Since 1999, it has invested $2.5 million. So that's 18 years, only $2.5 million. If we give it 20 years, that's $250,000 a year. Where is that? Let me look that up. I'm sorry. I'm very bad at doing math. My wife is a financial analyst. She could do this in her head. I'm not so good. So 2.5 divided by 20. $125,000 a year. Not all that great. But hey, they're trying. I'll give them that. They're trying. And of course, here you go. The best part of all. Graduate and member of the Foundation for Shamanic, am I pronouncing that right? Shamanic, excuse me. Shamanic Study, Healing and Intensive and 3-year training program in advanced initiations in shamanism and shamanic or shamanamanu healing. Pure woo. Pure unadulterated woo. And she shows no meaningful education on this whatsoever. HLC EPC. That is not science. That has nothing to do with actual health. So that's just horrible. Why would you pay money to someone for that? Now, here's the last part of this. This is fascinating. Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Become a mind-body eating coach. Launch an exciting new career or turbocharge your already existing practice with this one-of-a-kind certification training. This is what Marc David's all about. He's written a best-selling book. I believe it's called Slow Eating or Slow Down, something like that. The Slow Down Diet. It did very well. But then again, it's a diet book. All diet books do very well. And he is kind of a charismatic guy. Let's look at a little bit of the introductory video for this incredible program.
Greetings, friends. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating.
Rosen, director of the Institute. We're here to share with you all about the Institute's premier professional offering, our
That's strange.
our eating psychology.
Oh, I took my headphones out. I apologize. I got a phone call just before I started the stream and had to take my headphones out to answer the call. And I completely forgot to put them back in. There's my show prep showing again. So, let's go back to this.
Greetings, friends. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute
Listen
for
to
the
the background
Psychology of
music on
Eating.
this.
And I'm Emily Rosen, director of the Institute. We're here to share with you all about the Institute's premier professional offering, our Eating Psychology Coach Certification Training.
This is a one-of-a-kind distance learning training that has fast-gained popularity and includes students from all over the world.
The training is truly unique, cutting edge, and provides the missing link that so many have been looking for when it comes to food, body, and health.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I mean, that's it. Just gets worse from there. So I'm not gonna subject you to that. But that background, I don't even know if you could call that music really. Just that background sound, incredibly irritating. Walks over their voices completely. You can hardly hear them. This is not good production. But if you look at the video, they actually know how to light a scene. They know to use high quality cameras. but they couldn't figure out how to layer in music, how to layer in a background soundtrack. And you're supposed to pay these people? So let's look at some of the things they have on this page. An information-rich 250 plus hour training. An information-rich 250 plus hour training. And wouldn't that be better, just information-rich 250 plus hour training? Or an information-rich 250 plus hour training program or curriculum? Right there, I'm not impressed with these people at all. They can't even title part of their work. Convenient distance learning format. Study from anywhere in the world. Well, we just covered that. It's distance learning. How would that not enable you to study anywhere? A unique combination of nutrition and psychology. Well, we've already talked about all that. A deep and practical understanding of eating psychology for everyone. Well, how is that different from this? If you have a unique combination of nutritional and psychology, then you figured out understanding the eating psychology for everyone. There's a lot of repetition in this. Be at the cutting edge with mind-body nutrition. There it is again. Enjoy a teaching style that's inspiring and results-oriented. Well, thank you for being results-oriented. That's very touching that you would actually consider the fact that I need you to give me the program, to give me the education that I'm paying for. Curated recommended reading list. Why does it have to be curated? Why can't it just be recommended? I mean, it's curated. All audio files and handouts are yours to keep for life. Oh my God. You mean I pay for this program and I get to keep the materials that I paid for? That is so giving of you. Connection and support. Fine. Grow a lucrative career with flexibility and freedom. Not promising anything at all. Enjoy a competitive edge in the market with a unique certification. It's certainly unique. It's based on woo. So it's unique in the fact that it's worthless. Powerfully tap into your gifts as a healing professional. Seriously. Develop confidence to work with clients. All right, good. But over distance learning, see, I would think that if you're going to develop confidence working with people, you would have to do actual one-on-one work in an environment that allows you to experiment, make mistakes, as opposed to just reading something that says, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. What else could distance learning provide you? Just examples. You're not going to get any actual work on your training unless you do it with a friend who knows nothing about what's going on, so can't give you the kind of feedback that you really need. Be a part of a new movement in health and transformation. Wow, there it is, a new movement in health and transformation. Well, that's all I need to know to plunk down my money. Help others while transforming your own relationship with food. Not only do you get to help other people, you get to help yourself. Oh, good. Join an exclusive network of professionals. How wonderful. And be a part of the new generation of healers. Well, we've already covered that. But look at this very motivational picture. This woman is beaming. You know, she's got her lanyard, she's got her badge. You know, she's in a room full of women. Not one guy in there that you can see. That's because guys don't get fat. Guys don't need help. Only women need help. So, last part here. Transform your passion for nutrition and wellness into a booming career in health coaching. Watch this video to hear from our students. Well, you already watched Alexandria, so we know what's going to happen there. Now, oops, sorry. This is what I wanted to go to. This is their FAQ. Have questions about our mind-body eating coach certification training? And let's look at this. I wanted to talk about that earlier and I missed it. Mind-body eating coach. Shouldn't there be some punctuation in there? Mind-body eating? Does that mean your mind-body is eating? Or is your body eating? I think there should at least be a hyphen between mind and body. But again, how can we expect professionalism from people who are obviously selling a fake degree? So let's look at the FAQ. And here's the one that I wanted to look at specifically. Are you an accredited school? Let's click on that. Nothing happens. That's strange. I can't even open the link in a new tab or a new window. And you know why? It's a dead link. It goes nowhere. I have clicked on every one of these links and every part of these links. You see, you get the little hand with the finger. You're supposed to be able to click on it. Nothing happens. And of course, this was my absolute favorite. You can't click on payment plans or refund policy. These don't go anywhere. How can you even begin to want to spend your money on a school that can't even run its FAQ properly? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So that's basically it. That's Marc David's scam to get you to pay lots of money. I don't know how much, but I can't imagine it's cheap, especially for 250 hours of training, and you get to keep all the materials. Woo-hoo! So yeah, this guy's out for your money. He knows nothing about nutrition. He knows nothing about psychology. He certainly knows nothing about the proper way to maintain your weight through exercise. This guy's pathetic. But he wants your money. And obviously, through the listings here of Evelyn and Alexandria, he's gotten money from these people. But they're supposed to be able to furnish you with the tools, able to get out there and build your business. Look at this. 63 likes. I can't highlight it. I apologize. 63 likes on her Facebook page. And how long has this page been up? We don't know. There's no copyright. There's no editing date, anything like that. But I guarantee you, 63 likes for someone who is supposed to be a professional eating coach. I bet she has 100 friends, and she only got 63 of them to like her page. So yeah, she's not setting the world on fire here, folks. So there you have it. That's the program. We went almost an hour and a half. I apologize for the length, but there was a lot to get into. Now, what's my takeaway from this? That woo is woo. When you start talking about feelings as opposed to science, you're not getting anywhere. And this is obviously all about feelings. Anytime you tried to find a link that went to something talking about the hypothalamus or the thyroid or your mind in relation to your body, you got woo. You got something about 7 herbs or a Himalayan mineral or epigenetics. All of these are basically nothing but crap science. They have no basis in reality. Yet, they want your money. Uniting nutrition, psychology, science, and soul. Transform your relationship with food. Become a mind-body eating coach. And there's that, again, mind-body eating. That screams for a hyphen somewhere. It just does. But why would she bother with that? Right, sorry, that is Marc's page. I don't know who the woman is in that video. They gave her name, but I did not look up who she is. I apologize. I really should have. So I'm going to end it here. I want to thank everyone for showing up and giving me your time. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And tell others about these live streams. I'll probably be doing about 2 a month, perhaps more. And then I'll try to put out regularly produced videos about once or twice a month in conjunction with that. I also have a news channel, Hats Guerrilla News, Hats with an apostrophe, I remembered. And the link to that will be in the description for this video once I put it up. So do look for that. I would appreciate your stopping by. And again, like and subscribe the videos. Like the videos and subscribe to the channel if you so desire. I would appreciate your attention to that. So in closing, I'm Hat. Thank you for coming to AHNC, All Hat No Cattle. And as always, be well, and thank you for your attention. I'll put up the close screen now.